Welcome to the Mindset Mile podcast, the show that'll leave you empowered to take action towards becoming the turned up version of your already awesome self. I'm your host, Aisha Zaza, and I'm so glad you're here. Let's go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, fam. How are you? It is my favorite day of the week. I love Mondays. And I've taken on a whole new love for them now that I get to spend just a sliver of them with you. I want to share something really cool with you. Just a few days ago, the podcast hit 1 million downloads. A download in podcast terms isn't actually a download like you're thinking. It doesn't mean that the episode has to be saved anywhere or that the podcast needs to be saved anywhere. A download is the term used for each time an episode is listened to. So out of the 55 published episodes before this one, the show had been listened to 1 million times. That is mind-blowing to me because when I started the podcast, I literally had no goal in terms of downloads or how many people would listen. My only hope is that it would reach the people who needed to hear it. And my heart gets warm every time I see your messages, emails, and tags on social media. It's always me that sees them, by the way. I'm a one-man show over here, and I see and respond to every single one because your wins are my wins. Someone just wrote me the other day saying that she found the podcast a few weeks ago. She's been going to the gym ever since and has also been smoke-free since she started listening. Amazing. Another listener reached out saying that she'd been struggling with anxiety a lot lately and that the podcast and getting out and moving every day has helped her get it under control. Hearing those things is just so life-giving. And I don't feel compared to share this million download milestone with you because I see it as a personal achievement. I want to share it with you because I want to give you a real life example of someone who started something just like you can, not knowing for certain where it would lead, but it could be far beyond your wildest expectations. We always want to be certain of our outcomes before we start something, don't we? We hesitate to take chances or invest time or energy into something or ourselves because we doubt if the juice will be worth the squeeze. But I want to tell you something. The answer will always be no until you ask. There will never be juice if you don't squeeze. Focus on just showing up for what you say you want to do and celebrate each time you do because who you become in that process is exactly how you will get your juice. Focus on being consistent over being intense. Which leads me to what I wanted to talk to you about today. Overcoming not feeling like enough, not feeling deserving, not feeling worthy. There's a term that's been coined for this, and it's called imposter syndrome. Women suffer from this more than men, and oddly enough, this feeling haunts even the most successful of people. I was talking to one of my best friends recently who is a real estate mogul and has now invested and flipped 11 single family and multi-unit homes all over the country. She transforms them from mere walls, some barely standing, whom most people would never see as desirable, into trendy, sought-after short-term Airbnb rentals. She had always dreamed of doing this for as long as I've known her, and less than 2 years ago, she doubled down and started going all in, and one property led to the next, to the next. So we were talking recently, and she was asking me when it'll feel like she's actually successful in real estate. Mind you, she's already replaced her full-time income doing this, and I was like, hello, if owning and operating 11 properties with a total of 18 doors doesn't cut as making it, then what in the world does? And I'm not just saying this because she's my good friend, but the girl is a serious boss and handles a construction site and executes beautiful homes like she was born to do it, yet still feels like she hasn't quote unquote made it. You'd look at anyone with her resume in any field and be like, damn, they must always feel confident in themselves and proud of what they've been able to accomplish. But I heard it with my own ears, her inner imposter that questioned her own success. Did you know over 97% of women ages 19 to 50 are not getting enough vitamin D from their diet, and 95% are not getting their recommended daily intake of key omega-3s? Rituals Essential for Women 18 and Up multivitamin was formulated by exhaustive research to help fill nutrient gaps in the diets of women 18 and over. It's formulated with nutrients to help support brain health, bone health, blood health, and provide antioxidant support. But Ritual didn't stop there. They invested in a university-led clinical trial to prove the impact of essential for women 18 and up multivitamin, and the results showed an increase of vitamin D levels by 43% and omega-3 DHA levels by 41% in 12 weeks. Ritual is committed to third-party testing, traceable and vegan-friendly ingredients, and always clear communication. No shady stuff. Right now, Ritual is offering my listeners 10% off your first 3 months. Visit ritual.com/mindsetmile and turn healthy habits into a ritual. That's 10% off at ritual.com/mindsetmile. Self-doubt eats away at the best of us, even after we've already achieved some of the things our former selves would have seen as boxes to check. Like the gal who's already received the promotion or the raise, still questions if she's qualified or experienced enough. The person who devalues their work after being offered to be paid for work feels like maybe they should just volunteer their time or do the work pro bono. Or the person who wins the award or gets any type of recognition can't help but feel like it's just smoke and mirrors. And they chalk the win up as luck or attributes where they are now because of the people who've helped them, instead of owning their innate ability and intelligence. Sometimes we pawn these things off because we don't want to look conceited or full of ourselves. But more times than not, I think it's our inner critic disguised as humility. Here's something I've learned about personal achievements and what we think they will mean. We think we'll become different people once we've crossed certain finish lines. Ones who never struggle with confidence, who all of a sudden have the answers. But the truth is, there really is no arrival to our personal successes. No matter how many homes you own, how many promotions or pay raises you get, you're still going to wake up the same you, working towards the next milestone and the next. Which is amazing, and there's nothing wrong with wanting to achieve more. But in order to recognize how far you've come, you have to own and celebrate what you've already accomplished. When you feel self-doubt start to creep in, take a minute to physically write down 5 to 10 or more things you've accomplished. If you saw those things on anyone else's paper, you'd be applauding them. You have to see your own successes on paper and applaud them. You did that, nobody else. Secondly, research shows that saying your own name out loud along with a positive affirmation will change the lens in which you view yourself. So how is it that you want to see yourself? Capable? Smart enough? Confident? Say out loud, Jennifer is awesome. Jennifer knows how to figure things out. Jennifer is a boss. I know it'll feel uncomfortable at first, but do me a favor and please just give this a try. Your brain is the strongest muscle in your body, and believe it or not, you have to train it to believe what you want it to believe. It will believe what you tell it. If you don't think that's true, then I want to lovingly remind you of all the negative beliefs your brain has convinced you of. The belief you have on repeat that's convinced you that you don't have what it takes. The one that tells you you're not smart enough, not confident enough, not good enough. There's no proof of those things. They're just thoughts that you believe because you hear them so often. So why can't you start believing something positive? Please do me a favor and just try affirming positive thoughts and see where that takes you. And like any muscle, you don't get to go to the mental gym once and see results. Do it daily over time and watch yourself grow. And lastly, visualize yourself winning. We spend a lot of time thinking about what can go wrong and imagine what it'll look like when we crash and burn. But instead, start to visualize what it'll look like when you're sitting across the desk from your boss who says, "Congrats, you've just earned yourself the next promotion." What are you wearing? What feeling do you have when you hear that? When I was training for my full marathon, I would go out on my long runs on the weekends, and no matter the distance of my run, every time I was about to finish, I'd envision crossing the finish line at the LA Marathon. I thought about it every time, and it would feel so real. It was as if it had already happened. That is the power of what visualization can do. It evokes the same feelings as you would when you actually achieve the thing. It's so powerful. It built my confidence every time, and I eventually started to see myself as a runner after putting myself in a box that I was not a runner my whole life. So these are a few things that you can do in the face of imposter syndrome. And just know you're not alone. When we face feelings of self-doubt, it feels isolating because we believe we are the only ones that struggle with it. Everyone faces it. It's just a matter of how we react to it. Choose to be confident. All it takes is a decision. You are not an imposter, my friend. You're the real deal. Send this to someone who needs to hear this message and tag me on Instagram at Aisha Zaza. I can't wait to see you there and next week for another episode. And until then, make it a great day.